Hello and welcome to Rewatch Party, where no one knows how court works. I'm Mark Green.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Zach Horowitz. And we've got a very special episode of iCarly here for you today, because it's a courtroom episode. Hooray!
It's a courtroom episode.
Which means that I can cringe the whole time.
Yeah,
oh
Harrison is a lawyer. I don't know if it's ever
Yeah.
come up before, but Harrison has a law degree.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, this stuff really pisses him off.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I know so much about the law, which means I know all the
Harrison,
ways
tell me one law right
Yeah.
now.
If you make a subprime,
You could have just said murder, Harrison. You could have just said murder is bad.
well, I was going to say...
Wait. We're on to this now. The law is murder is bad?
Okay. You could have just said, "Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not
I know,
a lawyer
I
like
know.
Harrison."
I know, and also shame on you, Harrison. Murder is the obvious choice.
Yeah. Yes.
The only time in my life I will ever be saying that sentence.
To anybody out there listening, don't murder. That's bad.
Yeah, we here at the Rewatch Party podcast are strongly against murder.
Oh yeah.
I was just going to point out that apparently, according to the iCarly universe, if you make a subpar web series, some lawyers will feel entitled to all your money.
That's true.
Hey, iCarly was not described as subpar. It was described as okay by the judge. Sustained.
true.
Sustain.
I'll allow it.
Thank you, Your Honor, Your Excellency, Your Highness.
By the way, I don't feel like I ever actually said it. Let it be known that I also think murder is bad.
Okay,
true.
I'm glad we got that on the
Okay,
record.
good. We're all on the same page about
I'm
murder.
glad we got that on the record. You can't take that out of context.
We'll get to it in more detail,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like TV courtrooms often go off the rails.
Yeah.
I have never seen a TV courtroom where seemingly the writers didn't know how court worked.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Literally nothing goes right
at all.
and nothing is as it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, at all. And the judge says nothing. This isn't one of those times where the judge is like, will you all get serious? The judge just lets everything
The
happen.
judge is like strangely into all the chaos that's going
Yeah.
on.
This judge is like going through a bad divorce and literally doesn't care about anything going on.
This judge is like 1 day away from retirement, and she's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I will let.
Yeah, that's the better interpretation.
What are they gonna do? Fire me?
I'm going to Cancun, baby.
Yep. But anyway, this episode does not begin in the courtroom.
Mhm.
This
No.
episode begins with the random eating board. A board that they spin, which has a food and a pose, and Carly has to eat the food and do the pose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is the replacement for the classic iCarly segment, Random Dancing.
Even
Oh
though it
yeah.
sounds way
I'm
more
sure you've heard of
boring.
it.
It's very boring and not at all similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is so interesting about eating a piece of bread or something in
No,
a
Harrison,
warrior
you don't
pose?
understand. This time they spin a wheel. That makes it much more
That's
exciting.
true.
That-
Yeah.
Have you
To
seen
be
Wheel
fair-
of Fortune?
It does.
Mm.
Have you seen Wheel of Fortune? It's literally just Hangman, but with a wheel.
That's true.
Try
Makes it
try
completely
and tell
different.
me I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
I should really start introducing wheels into more aspects of my everyday life.
Honestly, you should. I can tell you from experience, everything is more fun if you get to spin a wheel.
Right.
I do think that's true. Like, I could just get up and brush my teeth, or I could get up, spin a wheel to, I don't know, maybe decide like what kind of toothpaste I use.
Oh, I was gonna say like spin a wheel, and it's like, what am I gonna do when I get out of bed? It's like, oh, will I brush my teeth or commit arson? You never know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that would spice up my day, but I'm looking for ways to like go about my day, but spice everything up. Like, that makes brushing your teeth much more interesting. Then I go to my closet and I have a wheel to tell me what clothes I wear.
Mhm.
I have a wheel to tell me what to do next, if I should like go out for a walk or lie on the bed moaning.
Lie on the bed and moan.
Specifically moaning.
Yeah.
Just going,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What do you guys not moan? Do you guys not spend a lot of your day in pain?
I personally, I myself is more of a loud sigh.
Mm.
Zach, can you toss a loud sigh my way real quick?
See, that's different from a
Lovely.
moan.
Yeah. Because I tend to spend, like, I've never timed it out, but like conservatively 6 hours of my day just like on my bed going.
That seems like a normal amount of hours and not at all concerning. Oh, is it like one?
It's like
is it one continuous moan for 6
Well,
hours?
until I run out of breath.
Okay. How long does that last usually? Like, is it like, have you noticed that as you've been doing this more and more often, that like your longevity, your stamina has gone up?
Yes, I can, if I'm really like
If
into
you're really
it.
feeling it, you can
I
go
can
6
go
hours.
for,
You can go
like,
the full
I
6
can go-
hours.
I'm not there yet. I'm not like, what am I, the world record holder of moaning?
The
The world
ancient
record
Chinese philosopher who
Yeah.
invented groaning said
John Stevenson, who holds the
Stevenson.
world record for longest groan.
Also an ancient Chinese philosopher. Yes.
Yes. Legendarily did a groan that lasted for 2 years, and he achieved enlightenment afterwards.
You forgot 2 years and 5 days.
2 years and 5
I can't
days.
do that. I can just go like 2 hours. Nothing impressive.
That's like a third of your time, Mark. So that's like 3
Yeah.
very long groans.
Yeah. Once you get like into it, you can do it.
Mm.
But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about iCarly.
Yeah.
Spencer brings in a person with a clipboard, taking down emails to talk about climate change. Trina. I was very confused as to, usually you find those people like on the street. I was very confused as to why she came up to his apartment with him.
Well, maybe she's just a big fan of iCarly.
She's a big fan of iCarly. How often do you think Spencer gets stopped on the street for iCarly?
Oh God,
That's a good question.
I feel like it's a good question to think about how often everybody got recognized on the street from iCarly. I can't talk.
And also, like, Spencer's a very successful artist at this point.
Right.
How angry do you think he gets when people are like, like Baby Spencer? And he's like, I want to be known for my art. I assume he like performs very pretentious when he's out and about.
I don't know. I think when you do the Baby Spencer as a full-grown man, I think you just throw all dignity out the window. I think
That's
he's just
fair.
like accepted long ago that he will always be the Baby Spencer.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's also like? I mean, Sam's in like that biker gang out somewhere. Do you think people still recognize her from iCarly?
That'd be really funny.
Do you think people recognize Gibby wherever the hell he is?
Oh yeah, possibly.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we don't see Gibby this episode, but we'll get to it later.
Yeah, we will get to it. But yes, I was very confused as to why this person with a climate change clipboard followed Spencer up to his apartment until she gets Carly to sign the clipboard, and turns out, whoops, it wasn't about climate change. Carly's been served.
Oh no!
She's getting sued by Lewbert. Remember Lewbert?
Can you do that? Can you like walk up to someone to lie about why you want their signature and then just say you've been served?
Also, she can just go up to him. If Carly's been served, she's been served. She doesn't have to do these like tricks.
Yeah.
But she really wanted her autograph.
Yeah. But
That's my headcanon, is that this girl really wanted Carly's autograph, and that's why.
she got 2 signatures.
Yeah.
One was an autograph, one was her being served.
Yeah, she's just like, well, I can't just lead with "you've been served," you know.
Mhm.
If I want her to give me the autograph, I gotta serve her afterwards, you know.
Right.
Right.
It's very in keeping with the theme of this episode, which is that no one knows how court works.
Yeah.
You have to lie about who you are and do a big trick to serve anybody.
I guess.
And that's the law.
That is the law. That is the way
That's
the
the
law
law.
works.
Yeah. So yeah, Carly's been
Gerald
served.
Ford signed that into law. Congress passed it.
Former President Gerald Ford,
The Silly Act of 1972.
the Silly Court Act.
Court shall now be silly.
God.
I was wondering, what do you think Silly Court looks like? I'd imagine it's just
That
like
was-
a clown judge.
Yeah, well, that was the year they elected a bunch of clowns to Congress. Or is that every year? Am I right?
I could go for
And
like 6 hours.
Senator
but-
Giggles drafted it.
Senator Giggles drafted into law, but he faced a bunch of opposition from Senator Chuckles. You can't get those clowns to agree on anything. Am I right, fellas?
You are so right. Those clowns in Congress.
Aren't the real clowns the centrists who don't stand up for anything, though?
What if the
Am I
real
right?
clowns are
I
the
think the
friends we
real
made
clowns are
along
the ones
way?
wearing clown makeup and wigs.
I'm just imagining it's like an election. People like just started electing clowns in the Congress, so like a sizable amount of Congress is clowns, but a sizable amount are still just like regular
Yeah, of
people.
course.
Yeah.
Of course, but the clown voting bloc is very strong.
The three political parties: Democrat, Republican, and clown.
Well, there's like a clown wing of every party, right? So
Right,
like there's
yeah,
the
yeah.
clown party, but then there's also like the clowns in the Democrats and the clowns in the Republicans.
Like
Yeah.
the libertarians.
Am I right?
Am I right, fellas?
You are so
Ew.
right. Anyway,
So Carly's been served by Lewbert.
Yep.
Yeah, Lewbert
Yep.
is suing her for
Lewbert is suing
Yeah.
her for physical and emotional damages.
Yeah.
which is
Which is
Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, very fair. I mean, in this next scene, like Carly and Freddie show Harper clips of messing with Lewbert,
Yeah.
and they're like, just perfectly innocent pranks, right? And Harper's like, no, that's insane.
Yeah.
Messing with someone is like hiding their iPhone charger. You assaulted this man.
Yeah, like they physically like they manhandled him.
This poor man.
It's like the
Yeah.
one where they're like pulling him into a vending machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's not nothing.
That's not normal kid stuff.
It was hey. It was just a prank, bro.
And by the way, like Carly and Freddie, I don't think they even go to like, we may have gone a little far, but like their main reasoning is like, but he was so mean and annoying.
That's right.
So legally, we're in the clear.
So legally, we are legally allowed to
Yep.
physically abuse him because he was mean to us as children.
But Carly does decide, she's like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to apologize, and that'll make everything better.
Well, I think her first thought is like, well, obviously no judge is going to side with Lewbert because he's the worst.
right.
But
yeah.
plan B is I will go up to him and I will apologize and then everything will be okay. Because
Oh.
that's how apologies work.
Also important in this, we can just brush past it. I just want to flag, Carly eats grapes at the supermarket without paying for them.
Yes, wait, yeah, there's a mention of
what?
that.
Did I
Yeah,
miss
no, there's a
that?
mention of that where
Well, they mention something about like eating grapes at the supermarket, and Carly says like, "Oh, well, those are free." And Freddie goes, "Carly, those aren't free samples. You're supposed to be paying for
Oh
those."
my god.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. There is a thing where Carly just eats grapes at the grocery store and does not pay for them.
So Carly's just breaking the law all over the place.
Oh yeah.
The
Carly
Grape
Shay,
Act.
lawbreaker. It's been a while since we've like made up a spin-off. Is that our spin-off, Carly Shay, lawbreaker?
She doesn't play by the rules. She'll eat any grape regardless of ownership.
Oh my god.
It's Carly Shay Lawbreaker. I just want to build out like, what is this? It's like a gritty crime drama.
I
It's
would
like Breaking
imagine-
Bad, but with iCarly.
I was gonna say, I'd imagine like the crimes are like, there's on one end, there's like, oh, she eats grapes from the grocery store and does not pay for them. And then another episode is like, she literally killed a man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But see, I also like to imagine it's like the tone of Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, but the only crimes she's doing are like playing pranks and eating grapes.
That'd also
It's
be
like
good.
childish pranks and shoplifting and like minor
Yeah.
shoplifting.
Yeah.
So what happens here? Oh, they decide they don't need a lawyer. They just need Spencer because remember
Yeah.
he went to 3 days of law school.
There's also a very good line here from
Yes.
Freddie because Spencer brings up like, yeah, I went to law school for 3 days. I know what I'm talking about. And then it comes to Freddie and he goes, every time I think about that, I can't help but think you took someone else's spot,
Yeah.
which is very good.
Also, Spencer passed the LSATs.
Yeah. Spencer passed the LSATs, and even he doesn't know the first thing about court. Like, I know there's a judge in the room, and I should be angrier about that.
Yeah.
But, like, no one, not the two people representing people in this episode who both went to law school.
And Lewbert finished law school.
Lewbert finished law school. Spoiler alert,
Spoiler
Lewbert's a
alert,
lawyer
yeah.
now.
Also, Spencer's rich. Why couldn't he get a lawyer?
Yeah, hire a lawyer.
Yeah.
What's the deal? I keep, at the end of the episode, Spencer pays for something, and I was like, right, Spencer is rich.
Yeah, it's kind of easy to forget that considering it's Spencer.
Yeah. But anyway, to get away from all this law talk, we go over to Millicent, who's
Right,
hanging out with
yes.
Olive. Remember Olive?
Yeah,
Olive,
Olive.
her
Glad
best
to see her
friend.
back.
I was very glad to see Olive back.
Yeah, it's fun.
But yeah, Millicent is just reading the business section of the newspaper. And Olive's mom arrives. Harper lets them know, and Olive is like, "Great, I can leave." And she goes like, "I mean, oh no."
I wanted to read more of the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
Ah.
We haven't even touched the finance section yet.
Finance. Yep.
Or whatever it was, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm. You think I read a newspaper?
You think I read?
I stick
at
my
all?
head out of the window, and whatever people shout at me is what the news is.
Hey, you out the window. You look really good today. Did you did you try like a new conditioner?
Yes, my wheel told me to do so.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, I guess that's the news for today. A very polite cat
Yeah,
caller.
that's the news.
Very polite cat call.
Well, to be fair, sometimes I don't just let it come to me. I stick my head out the window and go, "What's happening?" And then people shout things. And that's how I get what's happening.
Hey,
Fed
what's
raised
happening?
interest rates. Thank
My car
you.
Thank
fucking
you.
exploded. It's like, local news.
Mm.
But anyway, yep, Millicent is left all alone, and she's like, "I need to get more mature friends." And then Harper goes on a long thing about, you Gen Zers. I mean, we Gen Zers. I'm Gen Z too. Tell me I'm young.
There's also like a whole thing where Millicent's like, yeah, I need more mature friends. Olive likes to play horsies. I like to bet on them and commit
Yep.
tax fraud.
What? Millicent is definitely going to get arrested for insider trading.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. Millicent is
course.
like full on white collar criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna arrest her, and she's gonna be like, or she's gonna be in court, which everybody in this universe knows how the court works, and she's gonna say like, "Your Honor, you don't understand. I didn't think I was gonna get caught."
Your Honor, if I may, I'm sorry.
Ron, I'm sorry.
We do finally get to court.
Yay.
And they're all going like, "Oh, and once they see what a freak Lewbert is, they're gonna take our side immediately."
Because that's how
What
court
a-
works.
Yeah, because that's how court works.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
could append that to any single thing we do to recap
That's
this
true,
episode.
yeah.
We're gonna end
You
it.
could just go, because that's how court
Yeah,
works.
we're just gonna end it with that's how court works now.
Yep. But Lewbert looks normal and sounds normal.
Yeah.
He's handsome and approachable.
Mhm. I actually didn't recognize him. Like, I just straight up
Mhm.
did not
Yeah.
think it was the same guy.
I mean, I kind of knew what it was because I remember when this episode came out,
Yeah.
there were a lot of clips of this episode circulating around the internet
Mhm.
because there are a lot of cameos. Lewbert being the main one, I guess.
I don't know if I saw any clips before seeing the episode, but I do think it was in the trailer. They showed like normal Lewbert.
I did see the clips of there are other cameos that he has as witnesses, and I did see those clips before. I will admit that, but nothing else in the
Yeah.
episode I've seen.
Yeah. But I'm not saying like it's fine if you saw it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you defend yourself. What is this, a courtroom?
Your Excellency.
Your Excellency.
I do like that. Well, there's a running joke throughout the entire episode that
Yeah.
Carly calls the judge anything except Your Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she says, "Your Excellency, Your Majesty."
Yeah.
I think
This woman watches Law and Order religiously. They established this in the first episode of the reboot.
You're
How
right.
does she not
Right.
know to call the judge Your Honor?
right.
She calls the judge like everything short of just calling her mom.
Well, she calls her like the titles of royalty: Your Excellency,
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
Grace, Your Highness,
Your Grace.
Your Majesty.
But Carly apologizes to Lewbert.
Yeah.
She says she's really sorry. She really regrets it. And then they get at their tables, and Carly announces to the judge and the entire room, "Oh, you see, Your Majesty, I just apologized to Lewbert. So everything's okay and we can get this thrown out of court.
When, by the way, Lewbert did not even say thank you for apologizing. He literally just stood there silently.
She literally stands up and she's like, "Oh, your Highness, if I may." I was gonna say Your Honor. I was like, "No, I can't. I can say anything except that." Like, Your Highness, if I may, I apologize to Lewbert and was very sincere. So we can like throw out the case now. Like, we're good. And then Lubert's like, no, I'm still gonna sue you.
Yeah, he's suing her for $1 million.
And he didn't even do the Dr. Evil thing, which Spencer is very mad about.
Yeah.
Yep, Spencer's very mad that he doesn't do the Dr. Evil thing.
I think he was
No
sued her
one
for like
does the Dr.
physical
Evil
and
thing
emotional
here.
damage, and specifically also loss of wart because he doesn't have his wart anymore.
He's really attached to his wart. He really likes
He says
his wart.
he can't smile anymore. He really misses his old voice. Again, he sounds normal now, but he's like, I miss my melodious, magnificent voice.
Oh,
That was
And
just him
he misses
screeching.
most of all his wart.
His wart is gone.
His wart is gone.
We don't talk about the wart. It's a very personal matter to him.
The hit song "We Don't Talk About Wart."
We don't talk about wart.
That's the whole song. There aren't any more
it's
lyrics.
2
but that-
seconds long. You laugh, but that song won a Grammy.
We don't talk
It did,
about
it's
wart.
crazy they didn't nominate it for the Oscar for Best Original Song. Like, it would have won.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they knew that it would have won. They're like, well, I mean, we can't.
Well, I mean,
That's a joke about how they nominated a different song from Encanto for Best Original Song at the Oscars, and they lost to Billie Eilish for her Bond theme. And if they had only nominated "We Don't Talk About Bruno," I guarantee it would have
that
won
was
an
my
Oscar.
best Oscar prediction. I did like an Oscar betting pool with some friends, and like, yeah, I immediately zeroed in on the fact that it wasn't "We Don't Talk About Bruno," and I was like, yes, Billie Eilish has this.
Yeah, but "We Don't Talk About Wart." Actually, I think it did win the Oscar.
Somehow,
yeah,
it actually got a
to
second.
Yeah, We Don't
Oscar.
Talk About Bruno lost to We Don't Talk About Wart.
We don't talk about Wart.
It's very weird that 2 very similar sounding songs released in the same year.
That is weird. I never thought about that, Zach, but that is weird that they released both of those this year.
I don't know, man. I'm not like a Hollywood music guy, but I just think it's weird.
Mhm.
I understand. But anyway, yeah, he's suing them for $1 million. They're all shouting already, and they say something like Spencer says something like, "Your Honor, may I approach the bench?" And she's like, "The trial hasn't started yet." They're already doing so badly, and it hasn't started yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but we also find out that Lewbert went through law school after
Yeah.
leaving his role as their doorman.
So he has no excuse to be
Yeah.
incompetent. He just
Yeah.
is, regardless.
He put
He's an
himself
injury
through law
attorney.
school.
What do you think? Or he describes his ads. Sue with
Sue
Lou.
with Lou, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Personal injury attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's been training for this moment. He knows all
yeah.
the ins and outs of injury laws.
His entire life has led to this moment. And opposing him are a group of people who are not lawyers and do not have the slightest idea how the law or court works.
Zach, let's be fair. He doesn't really have any idea how the law or court works either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's more inexcusable on his part.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm angriest at Lewbert and the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the trial start? Am I jumping too far ahead?
No, we have one scene with Harper and
Oh,
Millicent.
okay. Yeah, we should do
They're doing a spa day, and Harper calls Millicent bestie, and Millicent is very touched. And she's like, "You called me bestie?" And Harper's like, "Well, everybody calls everybody bestie. That's just a thing." And so Millicent's like, "So we're not besties?"
I dropped Olive for this.
Yeah.
Well, you can only have one friend, Harrison. Yeah. That's why I'm friends with Mark.
Wow,
That's why I'm
Zach.
friends with Zach.
Yeah.
Wow, Mark.
I'm sorry, Harrison, that's just how it is.
Wow.
Zach called me first.
Yeah. I called dibs, therefore Mark is mine.
Called dibs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I'm
you
sorry.
were
Do you
just too
have a
slow.
promise ring? Are
It's
you guys
just-
going steady as friends?
No, we don't have a promise ring, Harrison. We have a necklace that is a circle and it's broken into two halves.
And it says best
and if
friends
we're
forever.
together, yep. And if we're together, we can put it together and
makes
it
a
says
whole
best
circle.
friend.
It doesn't say
makes a
best
whole
friends
circle.
forever though. It just says only friend, no takebacks, like no no stealsies or whatever.
Well, on one side it says best friends forever, and on the other side it
you
says
like flip it
only
around.
friend. Yeah. If you had a friend, you'd know how the necklaces work, Harrison.
Yeah, get wrecked, Harrison.
Wow! Wow! Suddenly we're implying that I don't even have a friend.
I'm sorry, that was rude of me. It was rude of me. I'm very sorry.
I'm not.
Sue
me, why don't you?
So, the trial starts.
Yep.
And right off the bat, Lewbert just starts doing like the worst interrogation the worst cross-examination I've ever seen.
Like, he calls Freddie to the stand.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is like, he convinces Freddie that he's been under Carly's thumb for years and that Carly is a monster.
And at no point does anybody just shout, "Objection, relevance?"
And like, I get, especially in like TV shows and TV comedies, they do like the character witness thing a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't even that. This isn't like him bringing out someone and being like, now you obviously have stories about how terrible Carly is. He keeps bringing out people who like Carly, and then he's like, so what you're saying is Carly's terrible. And they're like, I guess.
Like they keep he's like so bad at manipulation, but they keep falling for it every time.
Yeah. He does make Freddie cry.
Yeah, he
does
turns Freddie very quickly, and this is the start of a very rapid descent for Freddie in this episode.
Yeah.
He turns Freddie very quickly, and then he brings out Guppy. Remember Guppy, Gibby's little brother, who says,
Happy birthday.
Mhm.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah, it was
You,
great
the
seeing
listener,
Guppy.
if you're watching this, happy birthday. Even if it's not your birthday, happy birthday. Anyway, go on.
So now you have some sense of who Guppy was.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. He says, like, Carly Shay used to torture your brother Gibby and make him do all these weird things. And Guppy says, well, usually he wanted to do them. And Lewbert says, usually, meaning sometimes he didn't. Carly Shay is a monster, obviously.
Objection! Leading the witness! Objection!
Yeah, like-
Argumentative!
Objection. It's actually the court note taker's birthday, so he says happy birthday again.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Like,
little
that
touch.
was cute.
He's leading the witnesses, but also the whole thing of like, again, I get TV shows often put a big premium on character witnesses,
Yeah.
but that's not even what this is.
Yeah, it's not.
The finale of Seinfeld is bringing back all the side characters and having them go, the Seinfeld people are terrible. They screwed me over.
Mm.
This isn't that. This is him bringing out people who like Carly and being like, but really Carly's terrible. And they're like, I guess so. I guess that is what I said. Sure.
Yeah, he brings out Guppy, who does that. And then he brings out Chuck. You remember
That's true.
Spencer's arch nemesis,
I love seeing
who was
Chuck.
a child.
I was like so surprised. I
Spencer's
never
arch nemesis,
expected
who
that.
was a child. He's grown up now.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he doesn't like Carly. He's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he says that the Shays are evil, that Carly toyed with his mind when she was his tutor.
Yeah.
She did teach him about the number Durf.
Yeah, I was gonna say she made up a number.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wait. Zach, are you saying Durf isn't real?
What? No. What? No.
Oh my
Mark,
God, I have to go check my
Mark,
taxes.
no, I'm sorry. No, Durf is real. It's like Santa.
In that it's real.
Yes.
It's the same number as Kelevin in some languages. You know, like
Mark,
from The
don't be
Office,
stupid.
Kelevin.
Kelevin is between 11 and 12. Durf is between 5 and 6.
Oh, okay.
Don't be stupid, Harrison.
Well, you
I
see,
know how
in
math
the
works.
Babylonian system of numbers from thousands of years ago, they had both Durf and Kelevin.
Yeah, but
Oh,
the
and
number
then they, like,
11 has been phased out in
separated.
recent times. Get with the times, Harrison.
Anyway, but so he says this real reference to something Carly did, teaching him a fake number and making him bomb on a test.
Yeah.
And then he says these things that Spencer did to him. which are all things that Chuck did to Spencer.
Yeah.
I kind of like how the Carly thing is real and the Spencer thing is all lies.
Like Chuck's thing has not changed at all, which I love. I love that he's still doing the same bullshit as a full-grown adult.
Oh,
and the
as a
performance
full-grown man.
is perfect. Like, he plays him exactly the same way.
Yeah. And I truly, truly love that he's lying and Spencer shouts, "He's lying! He did all those things to me!" And there's maybe some response to from the judge, but immediately Chuck just starts throwing cupcakes at Spencer.
Yeah,
something he said Spencer did to him. Chuck hates Spencer so much that he's tanking his own case.
Yeah, I do like the idea that he brought up the box of cupcakes with him to the stand to throw them at Spencer.
Yeah, because that's how court works.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but everyone in the courtroom, in the audience,
in the gallery box,
in the gallery, all the lawyers and anyone defending themselves, all of them would be in contempt of court.
Oh by this point,
everybody is shouting all the
they're
time.
Shouting, they're assaulting each other. They're throwing things.
The thing about this trial is it makes a Phoenix Wright case look tame, which is hard to do.
It makes an It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia case look tame.
Yeah, it makes It's Always Sunny. It makes Phoenix Wright look tame, and Phoenix Wright once cross-examined a parrot.
Yeah. That's true.
It's a real thing.
Have you not seen Charlie Day cross-examine a
He
bird?
did cross-examine a bird.
And It's Always
There's
Sunny?
a lot of cross-examining birds in fiction.
Why is there so much cross-examining birds?
I will say, spoiler alert for this episode, no one cross-examines a bird in this episode, although they're probably one step away from that.
However, Spencer is an expert in bird law. That's
what they teach in the first 3 days of law school. They teach you bird law, and then they move on to human law.
It's all about bird law, and then they're like, forget about that. That was a warm-up.
And now we're moving on to human law.
Yep. Anyway, then we go over to Harper and Millicent. Harper is she's getting ready for a date with a cool guy.
He
and then
seems
Millicent
fun.
comes. He seems fun. Millicent comes and she calls Harper bestie. That's not enough to tank it. The guy's like, "Are you short or young? Either way, that's cool. I don't mind."
Yeah.
And then Millicent's like, "Well, I have a number of questions about you, sir, before I let my best friend go on a date with you." I'm doing really good impressions of the characters in this episode.
I also do it goes from what's your name, and then immediately after, what is your credit score?
Yeah. And that scares him off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, there's other questions too that are along the same lines as that, but I like how number 2 is what's your credit score.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows it goes, what's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me?
What's your credit score? Have you
What's your
committed
credit
any
score?
major crimes? Do you have a criminal record? Are you a cop? You legally have to tell me if you're a cop.
You legally have to tell me you're a cop. What's your name? What's your credit score? Have you committed any felonies? Are you a cop? You legally have to tell me if you're a cop. Do you want to buy any drugs?
I like if I may switch it around at the very end.
Okay.
Are you a cop? Can I buy some drugs? You legally have to tell me if you're a cop.
Yep, better order. That's good. That's better.
I was like, there needs to be something in between, and then you went to, can I buy some drugs? I was like, oh, that's the perfect thing to put in between.
Yeah.
Legally have to tell me you're a cop.
Are you a cop? Can I buy some drugs? Again, I just want you to know that you legally have to tell me if you're a cop. I would like to clarify.
Yeah.
Speaking of the law, we go back to court, where Carly's gonna bring in the one person who hates Lewbert as much as them, Mrs. Benson.
Aw, yeah. She practiced her lines beforehand.
Yep. She's very good.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
She testifies that Lewbert is an insane man who was a horrible doorman and was mean and awful to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lewbert seduces her?
Yeah, I was gonna say Lewbert seduces Freddie's mom.
Yeah.
In what truly becomes from a bad day to an even worse day for Freddie.
Oh my god, that's right. Yeah, he's going through the ringer in this episode. It's pretty strong contender for Sad Boy already.
Yeah, I do want to say we kind of skipped over this. But when Mrs. Benson enters and it has like this dramatic reveal, it cuts back and Freddie is doing like the greatest pog face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That was
And
a great
it
face.
slowly and it quickly backfires on him.
But yeah, Lewbert and Mrs. Benson did have a fling in the original show
Mm-hmm.
when he was injured and she took care of him. So Lewbert seduces her. She immediately turns on Carly and they start making out.
God.
Yeah.
The judge is into it.
Which only
Mhm.
goes to support
Yeah.
my theory that she's getting over her divorce
Yeah.
and is just there she's just there
Yeah.
for the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like all this supports my theory that the judge is one day away from retirement and is like, fuck it.
Hey,
crazy shit's happening. I don't care.
Zach, ¿por qué no los dos?
That's fair.
See, I was
It could be
interpreting it. I know I didn't put forward my theory earlier. I was interpreting it less as she's been through a rough divorce as much as she's trapped in a loveless marriage. And she's like, this is the only excitement I can
That's
get.
a good one. That's a good
That's
one.
a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also would explain how she could see Lewbert as attractive. Though he is handsome in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really cleaned up.
Mhm.
The judge is into it, which sucks.
Yeah.
And then Lewbert says, I want more. I don't want $1 million. And I think he says that, and Carly's like, so you're dropping the case? And he's like, no, I want $1 million and ownership of iCarly.
To which the judge
Hey,
should just
Lewbert?
say, no. You
Yeah.
can't
Hey,
have
Lewbert?
that.
Hey, Lewbert, you can't do that.
You can't
do
just
that.
claim ownership of a web series because
You
they
can't just-
bothered you one time.
There's like I'm sure there's like a shit ton of copyright law behind that.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that the reason they wrote that in was just so Carly could have the line, this might be the end of iCarly. Which is a very iCarly thing to do.
Yeah.
It's always going to be the end of iCarly. But this is the least organic version of that.
It's gonna become
And
iLubert.
if I win, you have to shut down iCarly. What?
What?
That's right.
How does that make any sense?
It's like it's like making the states the end of the world. It's like that's
Yeah.
just no, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Also, the
Yeah.
stakes feel significantly lowered in the reboot, considering how often we see them actually doing iCarly compared to the
Yeah.
original.
Yeah, iCarly doesn't seem to be quite as large
Yeah.
in their lives. So it doesn't feel the same when it's like, this might be the end of iCarly.
That's right. Yeah. They are filming something in the beginning of the episode. Yeah.
But Lewbert's winning, and Carly sees Lewbert a little giddy from winning. He smiles, which,
He's not
If you
supposed to be
remember.
able to do that.
yeah, he's not supposed to be able to do that. What's going on? Carly calls herself to the stand.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut away. It feels like, I don't know if that's a huge cliffhanger, but I guess it's big enough to then just cut away.
Yeah.
It's a cliffhanger.
And then we cut back to Harper and Millicent, right?
Harper and Millicent, yeah, they're out having cauliflower pizza.
Yes.
And Millicent's like, this isn't real pizza. Apparently, Harper also took her to make a will.
Yes. Yeah.
Make a living
That was
will.
great.
Millicent now has a living will.
Yep. And Harper's like, and you're gonna pay for the pizza, right? And Millicent's like, what? And Harper's like, well, we're adult best friends, so it's your turn to pay for pizza. I paid for the spa day.
Yeah.
And Harper leaves.
But it's okay because Olive is there for some
Yep.
reason.
I think Harper planned that. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that Olive was gonna come in and like be acting all adult, and like Harper gave her the money to pay, but instead,
no,
Millicent instead.
no, Mark, if I may.
Yeah.
Harper leaves, and then all of a sudden, a very tall Olive in a trench coat walks back in.
That'd be great.
That would be great. I did mean it more in Olive being like, "Oh, you thought I wasn't mature enough for you? Huh, I see how the tides have turned." Like doing a bit, but also I would like if that bit was in a trench coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more characters should be in trench coats.
I was
Yeah.
imagining like Harper, no, Olive on top of Harper in a trench coat. But yeah, they're like, oh, what are we gonna do about the pizza? And they decide to dine and dash, which personally, what I thought was gonna happen and what I thought would have been funnier is if Olive just pulled out like a wad of cash.
Yeah, I kind of thought Harper maybe like gave Olive the money to
Yeah,
pay.
I thought that too, but no, they just
Yeah,
run
But
away.
instead, just nobody pays for the pizza.
Yeah.
They just run away very awkwardly.
Yep. Also, Millicent apologizes and
Yeah.
Olive forgives her. But yeah, they dine and dash, which is the most important thing in this scene.
Yes.
Yep.
Listen, it's against the law. And if there's one thing that we're talking about in this episode, it's the law.
In the next episode, they do another trial. This time for theft.
For dining and dashing.
Yeah.
But so we go back to the courtroom where now Lewbert is cross-examining Carly, and she says, like, there is one thing I wanted to say to you. Thank you. And she explains that, Lewbert coughed in Spencer's mouth, making him sick, too sick to take her to the father-daughter dance. And so her dad came back to take her to the father-daughter dance, and that's when she reconnected with her dad. She went to Italy. And by the way, in this string of things, after she says, then my dad took me, Freddie says, right after she said no to me, it's fine.
Freddie's having a bad
Freddie.
day.
Freddie's having a bad time.
Yep, but Carly says she likes who she is, and Lewbert, in a way, made her into who she is, so she thanks him. And then Lewbert screams and freaks out and becomes good old-fashioned original recipe Lewbert.
Yeah.
I think he runs into the bench and makeup comes off. He still has his wart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like very weird because he like runs into the bench and it cuts back to him and the wart is just there now.
Yeah. And they even make a comment like, wow, I need his concealer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I like. I liked that joke a lot.
They do this,
I
by
did
the
too.
way, because Carly notices him smiling at one point.
Yeah.
Which means, he faked all his changes or whatever.
And he did this whole spiel about how he went to law school and spent all of these years just to get back at Carly.
Which is great. I love that.
Mm-hmm. And he goes crazy and runs out of the courtroom.
Yeah, he runs out of the courtroom.
And he sneezes into Spencer's mouth again.
Right. And then Carly turns to the judge and is like, Judge, as you can see, that man is clearly unhinged and was lying about being normal. So I move to dismiss this case and throw it out of court.
And then everyone stood up and clapped.
Everyone stands up and clapped. And this is the one time the judge says the right thing. And she just goes, that's not how court works.
Yeah, she's like, no.
It doesn't matter if he's a weirdo.
Works.
You assaulted him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ruling in his... It's insane.
I'm ruling in his favor. And I think there is maybe a beat where Carly's like, so we're going to have to pay him $1 million and give him iCarly. And she's like, no, that's not how that works either. You owe him $250,000. That's my ruling, okay? You can clap now.
Which, I guess
and
technically
Carly
is a
says
victory for them. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Carly says in a very soft voice, yay, what a victory.
I love that, like, all this insanity is going on, and the judge knows exactly what to say to make this trial run smoothly, but just doesn't. Like,
but actively chooses not to.
Yeah. Like, this is obviously a mistrial in so many ways. Like...
Again, all this is just proving my theory that she is one day away from retirement and just does not care anymore.
Definitely.
She's like, fuck it. It's my last trial.
But we get to the last scene where everyone remembers, right, Spencer is rich. He pays the money.
Yeah.
Freddie has a line about how Lewbert was faking it, but my mom is not.
Oh, no.
My walls are pretty thin.
Oh, gosh.
And he shares a wall with his mom.
I love that they're still doing it. It's amazing. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And as a little coda to the episode, a little end card, Chuck gave Spencer a box of cupcakes
Because
as an
of friendship.
apology.
Yeah.
Because of friendship.
Yeah, a friendship.
And Spencer thinks it's really sweet, and he opens it, and they explode in his face.
I do like the idea that he puts the box down. He's like, yeah, and Chuck got me this cool box, and everyone else immediately backs away.
Yes, that is what happens, and it's great.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 700 times.
Fool me 700 times. I'm starting to notice a pattern.
Yeah. So that's the end. And
That's the end.
So that brings us to, the judge ruled in favor of Lewbert, but it's time for us to judge in favor of one character being the sad boy of the week. Got him, baby! I'm back with the transitions, am I right? Mark is applauding.
Love it. I'm applauding.
Harrison's applauding. Hell yeah.
Legal sad
I
boy of the
nominate
week.
Freddie.
I love you set up your own transition. It's so good. Well, the judge may have been judging that case, but it's time for us to do it.
Hey, say
I'm
what
saying you
will.
did a very
Yeah.
good job.
Thank you.
I have a bit of an-
appreciate the
Alright.
compliments.
I have a bit of an
Yeah.
oddball nomination, even though I'm pretty sure it's going to be Freddie. I think, based on our various interpretations of this one character, I think we should nominate the judge.
Oh no, there are a lot of nominees
Yeah,
for
I
this
think-
episode.
yeah.
There's the judge,
The
Freddie,
judge who is either
Lewbert,
Yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah, they
Carly.
all.
the judge who is either recently divorced, in a loveless marriage, and or one day away from retirement, and does not care.
Does not care at all.
Yeah.
There's Freddie, who has to see his mom make out with this weird man in front of an entire courtroom.
And
And
also
then
cracks
continue to live with it in his
immediately
personal life.
Under...
And he also like
Cracks
gets turned-
immediately.
Also like cracks immediately because
Has
of
to
Lewbert.
listen to them having sex in his personal life.
Yes.
And remembers the time Carly shut him down. And he's like, no one's gonna show any sympathy for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, poor Freddie.
Yeah. I
Poor
feel like there's
Freddie.
also Spencer, who
There's Spencer.
insists on being the lawyer after 3 days of law school and is a terrible lawyer.
Oh my god.
He's a
Also
terrible
gets
lawyer.
terrorized by not a child anymore, but Chuck.
Terrorized by his former child nemesis.
Yes.
He, I think, does the most shouting when he's not supposed to be talking in court.
Yes.
Uh,
I don't think he
Yeah.
I don't think he says the word objection once throughout the episode.
he doesn't
No.
at all.
No.
It,
He just starts shouting.
He's a bad lawyer because he's not a lawyer.
I do want to
He's
say,
not.
I know like Freddie's is like a front runner, but I think the other front runner to me is Lewbert.
who
Yeah, I think Lewbert as
who
well.
became a lawyer solely for
Yeah.
the goal of like owning these teens. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, he became a lawyer to own these teens. And to be fair, get financial compensation for the horrible tortures they inflicted upon
Oh,
him.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also,
He still
Is
goes
subjected-
crazy.
is the
He
butt
mourns
of the
fake
argument-
loss of his
Yeah.
wart.
yep. And is I do think he deserves some sad boy points for being the subject of the argument. But he's like weird and gross, so obviously we should win the court case.
I love that he
not
didn't
how
even
the
need
law
to
works.
pretend to be normal in order to win this court case. He
Yeah.
all he had to do was show the videos of him getting attacked on
Yeah.
iCarly.
You could have just
Yeah.
sat there and said nothing.
They use explosives on him. Like-
Yeah.
By the way, yeah. By the way, he has video of all this. It was posted to the internet.
Harrison, in Carly's defense, it was just a prank, bro.
True. The ultimate defense. Yeah.
And then I think there's also Harper,
Yeah, there's Harper who desperately wants to be young, but then is saddled with this
child
11-year-old.
who
Yeah.
ruins her date.
Yep, who ruins her date and is possibly going to be at her side forever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think those are a bunch of good nominees.
Oh damn.
I know we keep talking about Freddie. I think I actually have to vote for the judge.
Really?
Really? I
I'm
was
voting
gonna
for the
say I
judge.
think I might have been swayed into voting for Lewbert instead of Freddie.
No, it's fine. Freddie has some very good moments, but I actually like.
You know what?
I didn't think it was particular in the grand scheme of things. I didn't think it was so obviously Freddie
Yeah.
as much as you two.
You know what? In hindsight, I think you might be right. I think Tyler might have to break this tie because I'm voting for Spencer. I think he was really sad in this episode. He
I
doesn't
do love how
say
there are so many
objection
nominees and we
once.
cannot agree.
He doesn't say
Yeah, that's-
objection one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tyler, you weigh in. I
We
mean,
get,
you
like a
could vote
dramatic
for a
drum roll
fourth
right now as
person.
Tyler types it in. He votes for Freddie.
he
Okay,
votes
you
for
know
Freddie.
what?
Okay.
This
Here's
episode's
what I
toss-up.
here's you know what?
Yeah.
If I may,
Yeah.
since we all vote for different people between four of us.
Yeah.
Do we just want to say we have four sad boys?
I don't mind having four sad
You know
boys.
what? I don't mind. Tyler, you,
Tyler says no. There must be a winner.
there must be a winner.
Okay.
There can be only one. Okay.
Okay.
Tournament style. Here we go.
Okay.
Wait, should we? And Tyler, you can of course cut this pause out of the episode. Should we do a ranked choice?
I was gonna
And see
suggest
who-
tournament style.
Okay.
Okay.
So okay. So it is the judge, Spencer, Freddie, and Lewbert. We're gonna go tournament style. I think it would be fun to have a sad boy tournament.
It would be kind of fun.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay.
Spencer and Lewbert.
Spencer
Who's
versus
sadder?
Lewbert.
Right, Spencer-
Who is sadder?
Ooh, that's a good question.
My heart says Lewbert. Although Lewbert does win his case.
That's true. He does win, and
He
he
wins
does.
the case, but it's not because of anything
yeah,
that
it's not
he did.
gracefully.
Also, he does still get the girl. He wins.
Hold on. If I may, he's fucking Mrs. Benson, but also he's fucking Mrs. Benson.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
I was
That's
gonna
also
say,
true.
Mrs.
Yeah,
Benson.
Mrs. Benson is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think I gotta go Lewbert. As much as I love Spencer in this episode, I think I have to go Lewbert.
You know what? I think I'm going.
My
Lewbert.
head says Spencer, my heart says
Yeah,
Lewbert, so I think I have to go Lewbert.
I'm gonna go Spencer because I already voted for him.
Yeah.
But yes,
Okay.
Lewbert wins.
So Lewbert
Okay,
moves
so
on to
Lewbert
the finals.
moves on.
The judge
So
versus
the judge
Freddie.
and Freddie.
Okay, this is a good one.
I think I have to go Freddie because all of the judges stuff is basically just like she doesn't care what's going on in her own courtroom,
Yeah,
whereas
that's
Freddie
right.
is mentally destroyed by this
Right.
weird,
I think-
gross,
Yeah.
strange
I mean,
man
I know
who is now
I know
fucking
I
his
voted
mom.
for the judge, but I think Freddie fits our
Criteria better.
usual sad boy criteria more.
Yeah. Okay. So
So now the
Freddie.
finals of our sad boy tournament:
Freddie or Lewbert.
Lewbert versus Freddie.
So Freddie just gets mentally destroyed, and
Yeah.
Lewbert does like
I'm
own him
going
in the worst
Freddie.
ways here.
I'm going Freddie because Lewbert does win his case, and he starts fucking Freddie's mom.
And he mentally destroys Freddie.
Mentally
in the
destroys
cross-examination.
Freddie.
You know what? I
Yes.
think that's fair. I think in the case of like this 1v1, when they go
Yeah.
up against each other in the episode, Lewbert wins. So I think I have
Yeah.
to vote Freddie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Freddie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Freddie is the sad boy after a long tournament, a long and hard fought tournament. Freddie has emerged as the one true sad boy of this episode.
There can only be
Congratulations, Fredward Benson, the sad boy of the week.
Well, all right.
All
It's
right.
amazing. That was.
I'm just
fun
happy that we got
experiment.
to do a sad boy tournament. I think that was fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna set this is a precedent. From now on, if all four of us vote different people, we're doing it tournament style.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that as a
Okay.
precedent.
Yeah. Yeah. Zach, I think you feel the most strongly about this. so
Tournaments are fun.
I agree. It was fun. Yeah.
That's my argument.
I just love your energy of we're all fucking down for tournaments, right?
Like it's an anime. Like we have a tournament arc, guys.
tournament arc.
This has been our tournament arc.
This has
And
been our
also,
tournament arc of iCarly.
this has been our episode about iCarly Season 2, Episode 2. If you liked what you listened to, you can follow us on social media. We are at Rewatch Party Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps us out. I hope everybody listening has a wonderful day. I'm Mark Green.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Zach Horowitz.
And until next time, keep rewatching. And seriously, does no one know how court works? We have a judge, a lawyer, a man who did get into law school at least. No one's seen a single episode of Law and Order. Not one person.